Welcome back to Railroads Online, and this is episode 4 of the new Splines tutorial. And in today's episode, we are going to build some ladder yards. These are also extremely easy to build in the new system. And what we'll do is we'll put 4-lane yard in here on this side. So the first thing we'll do is we'll start off our link from here. And we need to put it on circle mode so that we build it straight. We just want to add just a short little piece in between here and where we start building, just so that we don't mess up this first piece here. Now we will put in some switches, which will separate our yards. Now when you build between switches, because of the way the new rail system works, it's a very good idea to not actually have a switch connected directly to a switch. So connecting this switch to there would be a bad idea, because if one of these switches has an issue and you have to remove it, then there's no way for you to connect that link back up again. So what we do is we put in a small piece of track, and of course we've got circle mode on, and if we set this grid to it's this one, this button. I keep getting the buttons mixed up on this. It's in an unintuitive place. We can set a distance between the switches. Now, if you look at the old system used cross tracks, and a cross track was 3.83 meters long. And you can probably see here that we can't actually place 3.83 meters when it's on meter lock. So what I normally do is I come back just a little bit. So I'll set it to the 50 centimeter or half meter one, and then I'll go to, so it's on 4, and then I'll come back one more, and that tells me it's on 3.5 meters. And that's a pretty good spacing for a ladder yard. And we'll do the same again. We'll put on another switch and move up here, put on another piece of short track, pull it up to where it says 4. If we come back 1, that should be on 3.5. That is something that is missing from the construction menu at the top there, is it should be showing us, I don't even think we're going to fit 4 lanes in here. It could be we only fit 3, so we'll just have to make it a 3-lane yard. When you go to put in here and we want 3.5 meters, it does not give enough decimal places for the length compared to the length of track you can place, because it's, say, that's both showing that it's 4 meters, but that's obviously 4.5. That's 4, that's 3.5, and that's 3, and that should be 2.5, and that is 2. So that's something that needs to be addressed in one of the updates to come in the future, is yes, we get 2 more decimal places on that length, so that we have a good idea as to how long the lengths are that we're placing in relation to the grid, which the grid goes to 1 centimeter placement. So, okay, to continue on our yard, all we need to do now is, and we don't want to do this one because we want to do the yard with the both lead in and lead out to the one side, like a passing lane. So it's this side is the one we need to build first. Build it all the way down here to the other end. And that's our first lane of the yard. Now, this is something that we've had to do from the old building system, and it's just something you have to, you still are unable to rotate a switch and have it connect. So what you do is you put a small piece of track after the switch, then you can come back and remove the switch and put the switch in the correct direction that you want it. But because we've turned the switch now, this connection we had between here is no longer connected on this joint. So we have to remove that piece. Now, while we're here, we will build in this end here, and it's on 50, so if we pull it out to 4 and come back one more, that should be 3.5, and put in our next, oh, that one went the wrong way. We want this one. And that should give us 1 lane, 2 lane, we need 1 more. And again, we put it in to pull it out to 4, that's 4 neat, 3.5 meters. And put in 1 more switch, which will be that one. And this will be our lineup along here. And now that we've got both ends built, all we need to do is fill in the lines in the middle. And to do this also, we need to turn off the circle mode, which is 5 on the number pad. And we also need to rotate don't align this button. We need to rotate it somewhere close to the direction we need to go, otherwise it won't show us a connection link. And it's still not going to connect. Change the increments to 10. And now it'll give us a link. And same again for the next lane. The link to there. And connect it to the last end. There. And connect it to this end here. Now, we have got switches here when we don't really want switches. So what we've actually used this switch for is to be able to get this curve in. We can see where our lanes have come in all nice and straight with a single piece. So the last step for building a ladder yard this way is to delete the switch off of each end here. And it doesn't really matter which way we build it, but we'll build it this way because it'll do the same thing either way. And we turn off make sure the circle mode's off and just connect it in, and it puts in a perfect curve for us there that matches where the switch that we took out. And we can even build it back the opposite direction this way, and it'll still build in that perfect curve for us. And there we go, 1 ladder yard finished with a 3.5 meter spacing in between the switches. And I have just managed to get stuck in the groundworks again. So we'll delete this here out again now, and because this is a ladder yard this way. Now, if you want to do a ladder yard that enters from the right, but then exits at this end from at the other end, that is a slightly different build. So we'll remove all of these, just these bits here. Oop, and this last little bit over here in the corner. Delete. And this bit of track here. And we can actually leave this bit on here because it will... No, we can't because I got stuck in it. Okay, now instead of building out from this line, we will build out off the end of this, the last line. We want a switch, and we're only using this switch to get this particular curve. We will build our straight on here, so we want to turn circle mode on and run down to the end. Place the end on, and now we've got to do the old trick as we used to do in the old system of turning the switch around and connecting to the turnout. So that's build forwards, which gives us the distance. Connect to the end. We can delete the switch out of the middle. Build a switch backwards the opposite direction, which gives us our position of where the next line will connect this way. Build a short piece on there. And then delete the switch out. And measure back for the distance again to turn the switch one last time. We'll delete that so it doesn't get in the way. Put a small piece of track here on the end. And then of course the last step is, and we better delete that piece there as well, we don't want it getting in our way. Wow, having issues with the deletes today. Okay, and the last piece we want to put in is the actual switch that will be used, which will be, should be that one. And I'm stuck in the groundworks again, but that's okay. We are now up on top of the, we've got the switch in where we need it. And our last step again is to put in, and we've got to make sure that we're on the 50 centimeter mode so we can build in half meters. So pull it out to 4, back to where it says 3, which is really 3.5. And then on here, we put the next switch, which is that shape one. And do the same again on the other end. We measure out 3.54 back to 3.5, which is that one. And we put the last switch here on the end. Now, the only thing that's left to do is to connect up the center lanes, and we also have to reconnect this lane as well, because this joint would have been broken here at this end when we turn this first switch around. So we'll run all the way back to here. And we do want to have the circle mode turned off for this because we're just linking tracks between 2 points. And join it. Run all the way back over to the next lane. Show us the link. There it is. And connect up the next lane. Make sure you're not standing on it when you click it in. And that is a real problem that's getting stuck in the rail today. I'm going to have to remove the one, the little short bit out of the middle, and put it back in again. And the last step with our ladder yard that enters from the left and enters from the right and then exits to the left is the last lane. Click it in. Now, we have got 2 switches here where we don't want them. And the same as we did on the last yard is we just need to connect up this curve and it will automatically replace in the shape that was missing that we took out from the switch. And the same thing again on this end. And put in the last little piece of track. Give me the link. There it is. And there we go. That is ladder yard finished. And they're all nice, even, straight, parallel lanes. You could probably put them a little bit closer. I normally go with a 3.5. You could even work it on a 3 meter. It wouldn't be too close for the rail cars and everything to go through. I've just been used to using the cross tracks as the spacing, and well, these are just that little bit closer together than what the cross track spacings were. Yes, well, anyway, there's the easy way in the new splines to build ladder yards. A little bit more difficult of a method would be to try and build one of these ladder yards around a curve, but it's going to be up to you to have a little bit of trial and error and see whether or not you can do it if you need to have that on your map. Building straight ones is as simple as connecting the pieces together. All right, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.